Welcome back to Too Many Podcasts.
Too Many Podcasts.
Today's guest is the man himself. You can introduce yourself. Mohammed. Welcome, Mohammed. Mohammed is a very close friend to mine. 12 years I've been knowing Mohammed. We have, of course, Matt himself. Being all cute and sexy over there. Welcome back, guys. Sorry about the
something
wait.
going on between you guys I didn't know about?
And I said, you left for a while. You think I was going to wait for you? No. But anyways, that's not the point. Today's podcast is about... Matt, what is it about today?
Today's podcast is about budgeting. More specifically, how to save money. Not how to save money. Everybody knows, how do I save money? It's simple. You don't spend it when you put it in a safe spot or, in a more specific way. Budgeting, like not spending money on stupid shit. Like going out, shit that you don't need. Not going out every single weekend. Like, I'm going to go out drinking with my friends and spend $100 on drinks. And then I'm going to go out on Sunday and go out for brunch with John and Emily and Nicole and everybody and spend another $60. And then I'm going to go buy...
That shit adds up.
Yeah, it adds up. I'm going to go buy a pack of cigarettes every day or this or that or ridiculous stuff.
You ain't
or
gonna
coffee.
get shit nowhere
Make
with
the
that
fucking
mindset.
coffee at home. Don't smoke the cigarettes. It's terrible for you. Anyways, put the money away so you're not working for the rest of your life, ending up like that 80-year-old Walmart greeter at the door of Walmart that's still working. The whole point of working is to retire and enjoy yourself. And now it's the older I get, I'm sure the older you guys get too, you see people are working later. Most people I know, honestly, die before they even retire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the whole point of work is to retire. So
that's
save your
one thing
money,
I do in my
budget,
end.
please.
I don't want to die working.
Mm-mm.
That's the one thing about I do not want to die working. I do not. I don't want to do that at all. Took a lesson, and they say you learn from others, right? I learned from others. So going back on saving, and if you have a problem of spending money, have somebody else control your money. I'll tell you that from right now. If you have a problem where you see you have money and you have to buy something, have somebody else take care of your money, or give it to somebody who's responsible or you can trust too. Make sure you can trust them. And you being lazy,
Trust is a huge issue with people right now. And
trust issues, yeah.
But not just that. People have to work on their own, how to save up money, how to work with their own. It's not about telling other people, what if that other person just left off with the money or something.
No, if I want to give money, I know who to give to.
Of course, but still, people have to depend on their own at some point. That's why start working young, and and learning of saving habits. It's that's why when you're young and you you want to buy something and your dad tells you no. It's not just telling you, and you tell 10% of the time he tells you this. It's not because he's cheap or he doesn't want, but he wants to
hate you.
Huh?
Or he hates you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just he wants to teach you that not everything you want you can get. Which
you're gonna get.
You get spoiled.
Exactly.
And
you always
especially when you're young. It's like a tree when it's growing. It's
that's your foundation. Yeah.
And when
you gotta
you
be taught. That's when you need to learn.
When you hear no, you stop hearing no. Don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get used to also hearing no.
Prior planning prevents poor performance, and that goes with anything. Set yourself up. Don't just sit there and be all I'm pretty much trying to say is have a fucking plan.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and be what do you see yourself 5 years from now? Work in the same job. Wait, what? What about 10 years from now? Work in the same job.
Even if you work in the same job, I bet you have some sort of plan.
But time out. Okay, yeah, but the problem is even if you are working that same job, what about 5 years from now working the same job but putting money towards in this avenue so I don't have to work this same job? You know what I'm saying? So it's don't be that person that works the rest of their life and dies working. The whole point of working is to retire. You know what I'm saying?
At some point, yeah. You gotta enjoy your life. It's not all about work. You know what I'm saying?
But enjoy yourself in moderation. Don't overindulge and live like you're already fucking retired. You know what I mean? That's
don't
toxic.
Get comfortable.
Yeah. You don't want to get too comfortable. You want to make sure you're working, but also enjoying yourself. Take a vacation here and there. Go out here and there, but don't be sitting there overindulging, spending money on stupid shit you don't need.
Because it's not gonna last forever too.
No,
some people to get some maybe sort of a good job or a good business, and they don't take advantage of it. They don't go on and they don't go on and save up or try to maybe buy a house.
Or maybe
you know,
expand the business.
Yeah.
expand the business. What they do is like, okay, I'm set. I'm gonna go spend here and there. I myself, when I started working at McDonald's for like $8 an hour or something, which was nothing. When I was in high school, so it was tough. So working and go to school, that was tough, definitely. But I didn't have a certain plan. But I didn't have a plan. But the least plan that you should have is at least saving money. When you grow, by the time you grow, you're gaining experience. You're teaching yourself how to, with managing
Becoming
finance.
like an adult, like a young adult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Teach yourself that, because one day you're just gonna be like, 20 years later, you're gonna be like, oh, what did I do? What did I do in my life? And you see those people calculating, like, oh, I smoked cigarettes for 10 years. I could have saved 20 grand. I drank for blah blah blah, and I spent this much. And it's like you don't make yourself do that. Like go
Have
out.
your
Saves and
priorities
sorry.
straight. Like
Exactly.
don't spend money on things that aren't priorities.
Like, think ahead. Don't get to your point where you're like, oh shit, I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Think ahead. Like, going back to like me and Ennis, like we started working young. Ennis, if you want to elaborate on that, like we started working.
Sure.
Like that's how our father put in our head. Like,
Yeah,
we
sure.
can
Like
lead
we,
that off.
yeah, sure. When I first came here, so my mother does not have like papers to come here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've mentioned before, but so my dad brought me here, and he was going back and forth to provide, of course, and to be with the family, especially with the war starting in Syria. That was like a very tough situation where we have to leave our homes and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I started here, my dad made me start working young and hustling, saving up, trying to save it. Like even like I used to feel like bad sometimes, like for myself. He used to take like rent money when I was maybe like 15 years old, and I'll be like, you're taking almost all my money. Why are you taking? It wasn't. And now I learned that he's not taking my money. He's teaching me responsibility and not to be irresponsible when I grow up. Like I've lived on my own. A lot of people be like, oh, if I had my own house, I would be doing parties. Remember?
Yeah,
when I had my own house. Yeah, like
You and your
people,
brother.
yeah, exactly. It got some point. Then at some point, like little by little, he was helping me with rent. And then it came to some point, he was not helping me no more. And I felt bad. I'm like, look at these people. They're making. Their parents aren't paying for their stuff. They're paying for their rent. But I did not know that later on, they're still doing the same thing with their work, and whether it's convenience stores or they work in whatever the jobs are. Then not a career job. And I'm at a point where I know I can stand on my feet wherever you throw me, which is a good thing. So that was a lesson that was taught when I did not know it was, I did
It's
not
valuable back
exactly.
then.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now I
You
know
take it for
that
granted at the time, and then when shit hits the fan and you're at a certain level in your life, and it's just like, wait a minute, like I'm prepared and in the same in the area I'm in because of what I was taught.
Yeah.
Because of maybe it sucked to hear no back then, but it would have sucked a lot more now.
Yeah.
to
and it depends on your surroundings too.
Yeah, well,
so let's say
that's
we were close because we sort of had the same cultural
upbringings and stuff.
Exactly. So we were working our asses off. We had to. We know we would. We know we would have to do that. Because at some point we knew, of course, it was good for us. To teach in the future, but we wanted to just slack. But that taught us. He's on his own now. His father passed away. He's on his own now. He would have not been, running a business on his own. Especially what were you, 21 at the time?
My dad passed away like 2 years
Exactly.
ago.
Yeah. So at age 21, for someone to be running a business, that's hard.
But that's what I'm saying. But it goes back to what my dad taught me. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Taught you to be working it's not.
That's
about,
the mindset. Because if you now look at this generation where people are hitting 17, 18, and they're out of nowhere, where people who doesn't go to college are just out there, they don't know what the fuck to do, where to start, what should I do, and they're panicking. Well, how can I make a family, or how can I start a family when I don't have it? That I wish the school would teach us that shit. Teach the kids when work. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I said this before. They teach us when you become 18, you can go open a credit card, but teach me how to open the credit card. You know what I'm saying? You can tell me how to do things, but show me how to do
Teach
it.
me how to change a fucking tire and stuff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Things you need to learn,
That's that shit that you're actually gonna use.
Teach me how to pay bills and this and that. A lot
How
of
to save, how to make money.
when the fuck? I'm sorry, but when am I gonna use geometry? Like, I'm gonna be like, oh, the milk carton's at a 30-degree fucking angle, and it, like, it goes this. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, teach me
some people
serious shit.
who wanted to do that, that's what they follow. But the people who never gonna ever come across that, why would they ever should learn that if that's not what they want to do? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And like going back, I appreciate my dad for everything he did for us, for teaching me and making like, bro, I was 13, 14, buying my own underwears, buying my own socks, buying my own pants. Came to a point I would buy my own school supplies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't because my dad was broke or my dad was cheap it's just because my dad was like, you work now, right? And now you gotta pay your own shit.
Provide for yourself.
You know? Like my dad could have
easily just handed you the
whack
money.
with money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not
Well, he was looking out for
he's
you.
actually hurting me by that. If you actually think about it, him just throwing money at me could be
doesn't
hurting.
solve
It
anything.
hurts me.
It doesn't solve
It
anything
hurts
either.
me.
Yeah.
He passed away, you know. What I'm doing, and there's nobody to throw money on me anymore. You know what I'm saying? So,
But you have something to fall back on.
yeah, and that which is also like the experience of running a pizza place where I can now do the dough. I learned how to do the dough when I was 16, 17. You know, like that taught me. I was like, it came to a point where like I would have employees. I was 16, 15, 16. There was employees that would leave the job because my dad would call me and be like, yo, can you leave the employees alone? And I'm like, well, I'm not doing nothing. He's like, yeah, don't tell them what to do. They don't like that when there's a 16, 15-year-old telling a 40-year-old guy what to do. You know what I'm saying? And that was the mentality I was 14, 15, running the place. Like, not running. My dad didn't leave me there, but he would, like, I would, go do this, go do that. And
Because mentally you were older.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what my dad taught me, you know? It was work, 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 work. And now I have the experience, you know? And, like, this one thing that my uncle told me when I went back to my country a couple of years ago, where he told me, like, I wish I did what your dad did. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He was like your dad taught you and all your brothers how to open a pizza place, how to manage a pizza place, how to do all that. He said, even if you don't chase, like even if you don't do your being owner of a pizza place for the rest of your life, say you go out and did something else where you did invest in something different or did something else and you failed, you always have something to hold you on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when he said that to me, my uncle, when he looked in my eyes and said that to me, and I was like, yo, like, I never looked at it that way. And that's true, bro. Like, right now, say I sell the pizza place, I go do something else. That thing did not work out for me. Now, I'm not here sitting, rushing, begging for money, trying to find something. Now, I can always go back to the pizza. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no
and
matter
that's something where, like, if you have that knowledge, pass it on to your kids. That would help them in the long run. And learn as much as experience in different things, mechanic, painting, building houses. Learn that experience.
So you don't have to pay somebody else to do it too.
Not just that, and you have that experience.
That goes back on savings.
That goes with savings, which we're also talking about, but also so because you, if you need to work in that field, can do that. So you can become a jack of all trades. So you're not just stuck with just like one thing. You know what I mean? It's good to have.
And that's things like you can teach people, others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, you
of
can teach
course.
others how to make a living out of that,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty dope.
I mean, of course. I mean, I myself, I worked. Well, my first job, like I said, was McDonald's, but like I did not work there for long. I worked there for 3 months because I realized it was like, well, it's nothing. And after that, I went to actually work for, for his father, at the pizza place because they were like, because I don't like. Because here's the other thing too, I don't like a fixed rate. So you're only gonna get this amount of money whether you work your butt off or not. But with that, it was like I know it wasn't like a career. I was only 16. That was when I first got my license, and what's when I had worked, it was like based on tips and stuff like how deliveries normally are. And so, like, it would motivate me more, like, be nicer, take more deliveries, so yeah, I'll be making more money. So I found something that I could be not on a fixed, but sometimes I may make less, but a lot of times I'd be making more. And I saved up so much of that. I was working, and of course going to school. Even after I finished school, I kept on. I worked for how long? 2, 3 years I worked for. But how much did I make? I was the one every time. The guy that used to hand me my paychecks, like your paycheck is always the. I swear, and I hated when he said that. I was like, don't jinx it. He's like, yeah, like he was like every time it was like, oh, your paycheck is always like the most money. Your paycheck, it's because I worked.
Yeah.
And now some people look up, and they look up to me to be like, hey. How are you traveling? How are you going there and saving money? I'm like, you just have to manage. You just have work off, you work a lot. It's what are you gonna do? Especially like this age, we have our full physical strength.
Mm-hmm.
You can push your body to do things that you don't even know what it's capable of.
Yeah. You ain't gonna got nothing when you're 50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you're 50, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like at some point, like people, they can't even wear their own socks. And of course, it's sad, but at the same time, you have to push. When you see that, you have to learn to not
Like you want to prevent that from
exactly.
I don't want that to
you want
happen.
to prevent
exactly.
like same
When you
thing.
see somebody else like go through it, and you're like, damn, that shit sucks.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I definitely don't want to
And
like.
that, bro, and that's going having a plan.
Yeah.
Him working those hours, he had a plan.
I had a plan, and I did that, and I didn't have an exact plan, but my first thing was that I want to save up money for something. That money's gonna help you on
Yeah, as
something.
long as
And
you
then
have that money,
exactly,
no
and then
matter
I had
what it is for, as long as
exactly.
you have it, you know what
And
I
then
mean?
I had
You
an
can come up with
opportunity.
anything. You know
Because
what
no
I'm saying?
matter what you do, like whether you want to buy a house and rent it out, or open a business, or like a car
Anything needs
dealership, or
money.
anything needs money.
Money,
So it's
so
like,
you
fuck
had
it, at least like
you had
that's
the hard
plan
step.
A. Like that's the foundation.
Yeah.
You need money.
The
Like,
hardest step, it's over.
And after that, like, I mean, you remember, I opened up my own dealership, and I had it for 3 years, and it was great, but I didn't take advantage of that too. I lost it, of course, during COVID-19. Yeah, that's a story of a lot of people's. It's a lot of
COVID-19
people's
fucked a
story.
lot of shit up, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I started something. I went somewhere. Then I was like, I don't have to work hour to hour. I'm just sitting my butt off behind the desk, waiting for a customer to be like, hey, here's $5,000, here's $10,000 for this car, here's this for this car. But because if let's say if I didn't have that money saved up and I didn't have a plan back then, I would have not been at a point where like I could have purchased that dealership. Yes, so I went from a delivery driver, of course, to owning
Being your own
a
boss,
used
yeah.
car dealership, which is huge. I was 20 at the time. I was 21 maybe. 21 at the time.
Owning a dealership.
Owning a deal, and everyone would be like, "Where's the owner?" I'm like, "I'm the owner." They wouldn't even believe that. They like because especially here, there are people here, at that age, they're partying, they're fucking around, they're doing shit out there, And like for me, I was always focused. I was like, "What is that gonna get me?" What's that? It's not even gonna give you good memories because like what the good memories will be is like, okay, we hung out with a couple of friends, we went there, but what you being drunk and passed out and I'm not judging, you do your own thing, but I'm saying for me,
But it's not doing any good for you.
You don't see any benefit.
It's not beneficial.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You don't see
Thank
anything.
you.
yeah. So if you can prevent it, it's rather do that. So after that, I went to Egypt, and now I have another business there, and it of course it's with my family, but it's because I was
worked and you were able to save your money
and
and
even
budget.
exactly, and even in Egypt, I was working 12 hours a day, and some people would be like, "Why are you in Egypt working 12 hours a day? Where if you do that in the United States, you could be making just so much more money." And I'm like, because there's something will come up, something and then after that we opened another store. We had it was like a cell phone accessory store, and then we opened another one, and then we started doing wholesale, and so to be making more
Advancing.
and more. Exactly. That,
One step at a time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's got me somewhere. I know I'm not a millionaire.
But see, all of that he was just talking about, if he didn't work back then,
if it started,
You gotta work. You gotta work. You gotta budget. You gotta work. You gotta save. You gotta budget, and you gotta have a plan. And prior planning prevents poor performance. So have that plan. Work. Be strict with it. Save money and save more money by budgeting and cutting out shit you don't need. You don't need those new pair of Jordans that cost $200. Like you don't need that crazy new sweatshirt. Like fucking go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls. It does the same shit and then live like a king later. Like
suffer now, so you can.
So you're not gonna be that person at Walmart that's 80 years old greeting people or like dying before you retire because that's a damn shame.
It is. I mean, bro, like I was fucking 16, 17 making $800 a week, bro. I could have had anything I wanted.
Yeah, that's just good money.
Anything I fucking wanted. You know
I mean, okay, here's the thing. So let's say, he worked his butt off, but now of course he has a family. We are not millionaires, but we are. I know we're not, but we are following something. And hopefully, we will be.
We all have plans.
I mean,
but
but
let me give you
one thing I put in my head, I work a lot. I'm not rich, but I know working hard, it's gonna pay off. I promise. One day, it's gonna pay off, and that's what keeps me going.
Of course.
That's what keeps me going. I'm not rich yet. I'm not rich. I'm working all these hours. I'm not rich. But I know, in my head,
and stuff will pop up.
It's gonna fucking happen.
You will fall. Everybody's gonna fall sometimes, but it's about getting yourself up and trying again.
Yeah, because stuff happens with you along the way. It's like the road has bumps.
There's a spray bottle, and it's like a thing to clean stuff up, and the name of it's 409. and it took the guy 409 times to get the formula right. And now he's rich, he's got all this money. And imagine if he's like at 408, he's like, man, fuck this, enough's enough. 408 times, and he's like, yo, he went again, 409, fuck it. Takes you
And so
409
many successful
times,
people.
you'll get there. You will eventually
If
get
it
there.
was easy
You
to
gotta
be
keep
successful.
going. Everybody, there'd be no value
Exactly.
in success if everybody could just wake up.
Exactly.
Because they'd be like, who gives a fuck? Like, think about it. You see a Bentley on the street, you look twice. You see a Toyota Camry, you look once.
Like,
you know,
look at that.
I drive a Toyota Camry.
Yeah, that was a sport edition.
But the point
His
of
Toyota Camry is now low.
The point of the matter.
Sport edition.
The
Okay.
point of the matter.
How much you spend money on that?
The point of the matter I'm trying to make is if there was no value in a Bentley, nobody would fucking care about it.
Yeah, of
But
course.
because it's a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 car, there's value behind it.
And we look at Bentleys, bro. Like, but there's some way more expensive cars out there. But that's where we are here. Bentleys are so wild out here. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's what it always boils down to.
Yeah. But yeah, like keep in your mind. Don't get comfortable. Like I said, this is the
Never
time
get
for us
comfortable.
to sweat. This is the time you want to sweat now. You want to sweat when you're fucking.
While you're young, because you're gonna work your ass off when your
this when
body's
your body-
tired,
yeah, it's
exhausted,
capable
you
of doing
can't
it,
do
you
what
know?
you can do now. Fuck it, do it now. Like,
Bro,
this
and
is
I
the time to get it
promise,
done.
And stuff will come
work-
up. Some people just like give up sometimes. It's like where, stuff happen, like let's say for example, when I worked, my car broke down for example. And I was so pissed I had to buy another car, and that was like 4 months of work. But I didn't give up. It's not like, okay, stuff happened with me, I'm not gonna do it. And a lot of times, like remember me, like with me, now I own a house in this area overseas for some apparent reason, but I still, I have something, for my future. Maybe when I retire I might go there. But I have something because I worked my butt off or something, and I didn't waste time. Even though and a lot of the money, it's not like I saved it all because stuff happened with me along the way. For example, I put that money when I had the dealership. I lost it along the way, with the dealership. Before that, I had stuff happen with me. My dad lost his business. I had to help out. So when it had to be with stuff like this, that came along the way.
Yeah.
But I did do what I had to
you were
do.
persistent.
Exactly.
And you didn't get too comfortable, no matter what. Like, you get
Trying to be positive too about
exactly.
Like,
you can't just be like, I fail. Like, everybody fucking falls. So you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you got to take 10 steps back to take 20 or 30 steps forward, and that's realistic. And it's like, if you get comfortable and you don't want to do it, you're like, fuck this. You're only screwing yourself over. You're gonna be the one fucked. Like, you know what I mean?
Not
So
God.
you have no choice but to get up and push yourself and to move forward. But at least have a good mindset about it. Like, hey, it's every time you fail and you're like, you beat yourself up over it, like, fuck, like, this just happened to me, like, I'm down and out, I'm depressed. And if I was to sit there and ask you, this happened to you, but what did you learn from it? You'd be able to write a fucking book. And you could take that knowledge and take 10
And I
steps
promise
forward
you
with it.
won't do that mistake again. You know what I'm saying?
Because you'll be like traumatized.
the best school is life. School
experience, self-knowledge and experience.
And that's nobody can ever give you that.
Yeah,
You
not
have to
even
earn
school.
it.
Not,
You
exactly.
have to earn
Nobody.
that shit.
That's why sometimes your father or anyone tell you, don't go into this. Like, don't go into that, and you still want to go through it because you want to learn from yourself.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
I mean, some people like to see it themselves, which is
it's okay.
but it's also smart to look at other people's mistakes.
And see what they went through to not want to have to fucking.
But some people don't do that. Some people want to fall themselves.
And they want to touch the fire and get burned versus someone being like, "Hey, that shit burns. Don't touch it." You know what I'm saying?
Summarize this whole topic. This whole topic was about saving money and controlling your money, controlling yourself,
Budgeting. Yeah.
how to spend your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody can spend money. I can buy anything I want if I want to. If I really want to, I can work and but that's not my point. I have bigger plans.
Don't look for the
iPhone. My new
that's
iPhone right now can wait while I can get a house for it later. You know what I'm saying? It's just I replace something bigger than that.
And invest your money in assets.
If you do have cash, if you do have money in your bank, don't let it sit. Don't
Invest in
let money sit.
assets that appreciate. Like
And do not.
real estate.
Biggest
gold.
problem.
Let's say going back to your Bentley, you're saying
That should depreciate.
Exactly.
It's gotta be worth like 50 grand in 4 years.
Exactly.
Like what?
So what's the point?
No, it's like people if they're gonna buy a shit like
Once
that,
you
they
make
must
it,
have
you're
a shit
building
ton of
it,
money.
it's
Then cool, yeah. Like it's like you should get whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying?
If you get a new phone every year, that's $1,000 for example. Like right there.
It's ridiculous. Your phone calls, it's got iMessage. 9 out of 10 times, the phone's 80-90% similar to the fucking one last
exactly.
It's not worth it. But you guys are watching too many podcasts.
Thank you guys
you
for
so much
stopping
for
by.
watching. And stay tuned and subscribe.
Love you.